issues.
No worries.
Greetings.
What's up, Benzian? How goes it?
Truly blessed. How are you?
Oh, living the dream, Jack. Living the dream.
All right. Were you joining with anything specific or just to be a part? I'm good
Yeah, it was
either way.
actually a weird coincidence. I heard you just say you were talking about the news. I wanted to talk to you about your views on immigration and how the Trump administration is handling it.
It saddens me. And it
You want to
disgusts
maybe
what
suss out your position a little bit more?
is that topic of importance to you? I mean, in some way?
It was like in the top three issues for me voting for him. So I'd say it's important. Yeah.
Here, tell you what. Denizen, please. I'm going to leave for just a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to try resetting my connection. It sounds like there's issues with my audio.
Yeah, reboot your computer too. It looks like it's your camera. So, immigration?
Yeah, I mean, happy to talk to you too, Denizen.
Sure. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think Trump could go a little bit harder, and I don't like his capitulation into this idea that he only ever intended to do like criminals and like a certain subset of immigration. I think he should go, if you're here illegally, get them out and stand behind it. So I'm pretty hard right on that.
Why is that?
Because it's what's best for our country, I suppose, in a nutshell.
Sure. I'm looking for how or why you think that is.
I don't believe in multiculturalism, number one. And number two, I don't think that the proper response for a lack of worker shortage is to import other countries' people. Like, for instance, I'm from Minnesota. Minnesota is having a really bad worker shortage. So what the governor did is, in unison with the federal government, they brought in a lot of Somali from Africa. And well, you help your worker shortage out a little bit. There's no assimilation. What you actually see happening are enclaves set up where they have like their own market districts and their own language on their shop signs. And then like the day-to-day interaction it's kind of uncomfortable, I suppose you could say. I don't hold it against them for wanting to retain their culture, because I would want to do the same. I just don't believe you should bring it to my doorstep, right?
Yeah, you're regurgitating a lot of news media propaganda. It's likely. I love the questions you asked, Denizen. And Joseph, I mean no offense, and I'll certainly flush out the answers with you.
Sure.
Sorry. The immigration thing. I'm assuming you feel that's an important issue because you feel that somehow America is a special place. Is that true?
Can you say that again?
The immigration issue is important to you because you feel that America is a special place to you and you want to protect it. Is that fair?
I would reframe it as my home, but then the rest is correct.
All right. So you feel that and is your home near a border?
The Canadian border.
Okay. So you are near a border. And so
Yes.
you feel that border enforcement to protect you from the Canadians and any other immigrants is a good expense. Is that right?
I mean, I never brought up the Canadians, but
Well,
In
it's the nearest
general,
border, right? That's the nearest border to you.
yep. Location wise, yes, it is.
Yeah. What I'm suggesting is you reconsider what you think is really important. Okay.
Well,
Because
here, if I
you,
may, just so we're on the same page, Jack. My contention
Mhm.
was illegal immigration, which means that
Mhm.
we as a country decide who we let in, and Trump
Yeah,
is tackling illegal. I mean,
I know. I
otherwise, what
know.
are we talking?
Please. I don't need his excuses. You know his excuses probably better than I do. But the excuses aren't good enough for me.
So
See,
why should we allow illegal immigration, Jack?
how about
Why should we turn a
you
blind eye to it?
tell you what, Joseph, why don't you chill the fuck out?
I am
Stop
chill.
interrupt stop interrupting me. Okay? You clearly showed up for a single topic, which is just one tiny fracture of what I actually look at. Okay. But we can narrow down this conversation to talk about what you want, but you better be fucking respectful, dude. And I'm not playing around, clearly.
I've been more respectful than you have so far, but go ahead. I'll try even harder. Okay.
Are your interruptions more respectful?
Listen, they're no slight against you. All right, that's just normal discourse. All right, but
No,
I'll
Joseph.
try to do I'll try to do better for your sake. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that because you are totally insignificant to me. I want you to
Yeah,
know that. So
Jack, your voice is trembling.
you're a guest here with me, and it looked like the reason you weren't speaking was you chose to jump on and restream me somewhere. So
That's
you're,
me.
oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well timed, and thank you for correcting me. My assumptions. All right. He wants to discuss the immigration status. Denizen, where you were going was the right direction. I didn't pursue that far enough. I could have kept asking questions because if he'd think about what he's saying, he'd realize he's been conditioned to fear. And that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
or he'd give me a good reason, which I was waiting for. A reason without another alternative solution too, which is where I sit on immigration because I realize these corporations are deliberately importing cheap labor, and they're doing it to undermine us, our families, our economy, to steal our resources. One of which is our national labor force. Um, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? These people could be paid fairly. We could be paid fairly. Money could be spent instead of rounding families up. Could be spent on job training and adding, things like workshop and home economics and civics back to our schools. I don't know where the hell that shit went. So it doesn't it doesn't have to be us versus them. Uh, that's deliberate. That's deliberate.
Thank you. That's the bigger picture. They profit when we are divided. Because I learned this in a race and relations, a labor history class with a focus on race. Dr. Bill Fletcher, amazing dude. With every division, you will find a preferred side, a preferred class. And with that preference in the division is going to come more privilege. And with the privilege will come control. And by the control, then you have oppression. And when you have oppression, you've got exploitation. When you got exploitation, you've got hell on earth. And that's what we've created here because mankind has chosen to believe we're all divided and we need this authority. Let's answer Joseph's question. What do I think about what Donald Trump is doing regarding the immigration status here in America? I think he's doing a piss. My internet went out here for a moment. Calm down, Jack. It pisses me off because we've got national deployed and active duty members who have been deployed here in U.S. soil. We've got a commander-in-chief who's recruiting, using military tactics of recruiting young men and women, and they're going for the older men and women too into the ICE agency. And this ICE agency goes around with masked men carrying weapons, kidnapping people, busting their windows in. I've seen the videos, I've seen the images. No reason, there's no wonder the communities are uniting together, saying, no, you're not going to kidnap this guy. That's what we need too. We need people to unite against the systems of foreclosure, against the processes of eviction that take good men and women out of their shelter. Why? Because they couldn't find a paycheck. They didn't have the family to look out for them. They didn't have the friends and the connections to help them thrive. We've got a sick and twisted world, man. So, Joseph, welcome back. I hope you heard my answer.
I was just hoping for more of a discussion than a monologue or like an anger. There's no need to be like combative with me. I'm just here to talk about it and suss out your opinion. That's pretty simple. And I want to keep you focused on the issue I brought up, and that was illegal immigration. So how do you feel? Because in my opinion, I think a community ought to be able to dictate the circumstances around them. So if a community says these are the rules, you come into my country, you break them. Well, the response from the Trump administration is the reacting from the last popular vote, right? So I'd like, if you have an issue with enforcing the law, then tell me why I ought not be able to dictate who's in my community or like in my country.
How about you address the answer I already gave while you complained about the way I delivered it? I don't think you listened to what I said. You didn't even acknowledge anything I said.
I came up and I posed a question to you, and you didn't answer that. You answered a separate thing. We can talk about that after, if you'd like.
He answered the question. You asked him what he thought about the Trump administration's job in handling immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So your opinion is, to steel man you so I don't get you wrong, Jack, what you're saying is that regardless of what the citizenry votes, if you come here illegally, you ought to be able to stay. That's your position because it's kind of good feels, good vibes.
I didn't read that anywhere in his answer.
Well, I'm trying to get it correctly here. So if you could summarize it concisely.
Joseph,
yep.
Please cooperate with me here.
I am. I'm just asking for clarification.
Your interruptions are uncooperative. Please allow me to get through my point. I realize I pause when I speak. Part of that is intentional with the hopes that the words are getting through your fucking ego mind. Okay? Now, I'm sorry for swearing, but I answered the question, Joseph. So if you can just admit that when you were in the back, you weren't listening to me. You weren't here. You were probably stewing and thinking how unfair I was, and this is just not right, and how you are right. But let me stop complaining now. The answer to your question, how do I feel Donald Trump is doing with the ICE and the immigration? I think he's doing a piss poor job because the people have been conditioned to believe that we need these borders in order to survive. But that's not true. What we need is peace on earth. See, let's also consider, why are other nations against America? Could it be that we've allowed our corporations to exploit and overthrow governments? Yes. Could it be that we've spread war and military bases all around the world? Yes. Could it be that other people are seeing what America is doing, and so they're a bit pissed off that we, as people, we're not fixing it? We're going around fucking arguing with each other, stealing from each other, going through the drive-through and to the fucking movie theater. Got to go pay the sports millionaires, right? What is going on here in the world? How about we care about these men and women who are, they find no other option than to leave their homes. There are men and women and children, innocent children, who are being stolen from their mothers and fathers because their mothers and fathers were desperate, looking for a better life than where they were living. How about we help our neighbors? You want to consider America your home? How about you look out for your fucking neighbors, dude?
Can I pose you a hypothetical?
Is it related to anything I said, or just a thought you thought of while I was talking?
Yes, it's related. It's absolutely related, yes.
Please.
Okay, so basically, at a point you said that borders we're conditioned to believe in borders, and that's not in the interest or well-being of humanity, right? You agree?
I don't believe they are anymore.
Okay, so I'm going to pose you a hypothetical. Let's go back in time a little bit and pretend like we're living in the times of Mussolini or anything akin to that. Would you say that it is okay, under your ideology, that people who hold that political view and the same ilk of those leaders, they ought to be able to come and move as they go within our nation, and then join in our politics and dictate how we live our lives?
Are you involved in politics by chance?
I'm just a spectator.
Right.
Only
So
involved as much as I vote, basically.
So Joseph, yes.
Stay on
so
task, Jack. Answer the hypothetical.
Tell you what, Joseph, why don't you kiss my ass? Okay? I don't need this, nor want this. You showed up with an argument, and now I forgot what he just said, but
Should Mussolini be allowed to immigrate into the United States and then engage in American politics?
Thank you very much, Denizen. See, this is what I admire about you. You've got a good attention. What I heard him, why I asked him, his big fear is, some foreigner's going to come in his hypothetical. Some foreigner is going to come in and get involved in our politics, and they're going to take over what we're doing. Yeah. When actual citizens sit on their fucking asses as spectators doing nothing, yep, evil takes over. I suggest evil has already taken over America. It's in the form of selfishness and greed. Selfish people don't want to look out for their neighbors. And people become selfish when they're afraid. And people who have been hurt, they carry fears. This is why I want Dr. Gabor Mate, an expert in trauma. He is one of the names I would love to have with me as we, as people, communicate with the American government and with the UN, all the world leaders, because that's all of us. We are all here to lead ourselves and each other into the futures that we want. I really don't want to sit around arguing about opinions of what someone else is doing. No offense, Joseph. No offense, but Joseph, tell you what, this is
that's
you,
him,
dude.
trying extra hard to get along.
He's projecting his behaviors onto me, calling me defensive because, yeah, I don't want to waste my time with irrelevant hypotheticals imagined by a stranger who has no relevance to me or my success. Joseph,
the beautiful thing is, though, he made your point.
Yes.
You should have left him on, because he made the exact point that you said out loud. He was about to confirm himself. It's like he doesn't participate. He's not an activist. and he's worried about an activist from another culture coming in and overthrowing his own. It's like, well, it sounds like you need to get your gloves taped up and get out there, buddy. If that's what you're worried about. What are you doing sitting here? Is Jack Talcott fucking up your culture?
Here, there's something appropriate here, if I can pull it up quickly. See if I can bring this up. What happened? Oh, that's right. I'm gonna share this. It seems appropriate. Hopefully this is big enough. The man in the arena. Let me see if I can make this bigger. The man in the arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who strives, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Friggin' love that quote. I had that on my union cubicle in the on the wall of my union cubicle for years. And that conversation about being a spectator who's afraid of what others are doing, wanting approval for those who you approve of. I saw someone wanting of his bias. That's not me. What are your thoughts, man? You don't confirm many biases either. That's the thing I respect and see about you, my brother.
I'm an actual skeptic, old school, 80s style, you know? Not this modern skepticism shit.
No.
I have a very, very narrow area of expertise, and these are, subjects and skill sets in which I have education, I have experience, and I have profession. And outside of that very small box, I try to remain humble. And there's always, that's not the real snow fire, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Here, let's do this.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I appreciate the looking out. Finding the, being a skeptic, and then, God, see, my job listening can improve as well. It's actually why I shut my eyes a lot, so I don't get distracted.
I feel like if I'm in a hard time listening to somebody, then I'll close my eyes to try to intensify the focus, right?
It's a way of escape. But we've got the thing I've been learning. All of us are different, but the goals are all the same. We all want to feel at peace. We all want to feel recognized. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel like we matter. We all want to please others, whether we realize it or not. And some people do it in very twisted ways. They please themselves and others in very twisted, sick ways.
And broadcast it on YouTube. Holy
Touché,
shit.
brother. Hey, I was noticing the time. Should I have ended before the 2-hour mark? StreamYard would help me with some clips, but we've missed that already. I do feel like it is time to start wrapping up. What are you thinking?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I might check out that Netanyahu speech.
Oh, that's right. News. I offered that and then I changed it.
Joseph came up.
I got distracted. Here, since we're already running long and I don't have stuff going on, I plan on watching this anyway. Let's see what we've got. This is where I go pretty regularly for news myself. Let's see, where is that?
To Democracy Now! Democrat and jury has indicted former FBI Director James Comey on 2 criminal charges, which include making a false statement to Congress and the obstruction of a congressional proceeding during his testimony back in 2020 about Russian interference in the 2016 election. Thursday's indictment of Comey comes just days before a statute of limitations on the charges was due to expire, and less than a week after President Trump installed Lindsay Halligan, his personal lawyer, as the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia to replace her predecessor, Eric Siebert, who resigned under pressure from Trump because he refused to bring charges against Comey. Here's Comey responding to his indictment.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. But we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid.
James Comey's son-in-law, Troy Edwards Jr., resigned from his position as a national security prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia immediately after the indictment was announced. Earlier this year, the Justice Department fired Comey's daughter, who Comey was just referring to in his video, Maureen Comey, for her position as a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. She is sued, claiming she was fired for political reasons. Maureen Comey successfully prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirator, convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell, and Comey was involved in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, the New York Times is reporting the Justice.
Whoops. The Comey thing and the attorney appointments, there's too many names for me. I don't know the details of the Comey thing.
It's obviously political, but that doesn't change the fact that Comey is a liar.
Okay.
He's just as corrupt as the rest of them. He's a politician, not a lawman. He always has been, embarrassingly so. And
Okay.
The Southern District of New York is probably the most corrupt court district in the United States. So the fact that it's run by another Comey is just poetic.
Hey,
And Trump may be firing all the Comeys and pushing all these people out of office because he goes directly after his political enemies. But I remember these people from before Trump was around and what corrupt liars they are. So I don't feel the least bit bad for them, if that makes sense, right?
I think it does. And yes, see, you're more aware of different parts than I am. I know
I used to get into the weeds.
I used to a lot more. Now I do a little bit. I do a lot less, but I still try to pay attention. And here, let's see what else they got.
Department is calling on federal. Meanwhile, the New York Times is reporting the Justice Department is calling on federal prosecutors to investigate the billionaire George Soros's philanthropic group, the Open Society Foundations. The DOJ's directive lists possible charges ranging from arson to material support for terrorism. In response, Soros called out the Trump administration for, quote, politically motivated attacks on civil society, unquote.
Well, that's what you're doing, though, Georgie.
Right. This is the thing, dude. This is what the ego does. It projects its behavior. And, you know, this is another area. I hear a lot of things about that name Soros and Trump, and I don't know either of them very well, but I've heard them both say things about the past, and I've seen things about them from the past. They had some good ideas, but along the way, I think they got corrupted by profits, by money, and they lost sight. They got involved in the politics, thinking that fighting over this other side is going to be the way to win. These people are nuts, dude. You have thoughts on Soros in this?
Yeah. Soros, maybe I haven't disagreed with everything he's ever said. And if I recall, again, maybe 30 years ago, listening to him criticize the monetary policy of our country, I was like right on with a right-handed fist. But
Right.
the open, what is it, society that he funds?
Yeah.
This I don't understand. I mean, there's weird happenings out there, like random piles of bricks being left, for protesters. You know what I mean when I say that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And that's odd to me. I'm almost 50, and I don't recall that being a thing in protests. Just like random piles of bricks being available.
Right.
Yeah, and people getting like the vice president organizing the release of rioters. Like say for example during BLM. That seems new to me, and maybe that's just because now I'm finally paying attention. Maybe when I was a kid, I was too naive to understand that Reagan was paying for all of the, protests against him, or maybe George Bush Sr. had something to do with the 1992 riots. I don't know, but this seems strange to me. And George Soros seems to be deliberately trying to destroy the rule of law in America. With his organization seems to be. So my reaction to that is why? What's the game there?
Wanting to hope for the best, I would trust it to be ignorance,
Right.
short-sightedness. And that's a result of the life experiences.
From one of the richest, most powerful people in the world, which is,
Yep.
hard to believe or extremely depressing to recognize.
It can be, but it's a fact. These wealthy, successful people, they're people. They got good days, bad days. They do stupid stuff just like everybody else. But we've learned how to trust people who are successful, that they know what they're doing. And Donald Trump is an example of that. He's surrounds himself with yes men. And I'd assume that, Soros has maybe good intentioned people as well with him, but they take something he says and then they run with the idea, and then it's this chain of obedience where nobody's responsible for anything. Here, let's continue.
Politically motivated attacks on civil society, unquote. Israel's military has issued new evacuation orders for neighborhoods of Gaza City as Israeli ground forces push deeper into the Gaza Strip's largest urban area. Israeli attacks have killed at
Real
least
quick.
29 Palestinians.
I just want to double down on what I said before and quote her. Politically motivated attacks against civil society. This is exactly what I think George Soros is funding. Trump may be guilty of it, but so are you.
Right. He is. And to some degree, all of us are involved in this atrocity. I mean, to me, what do those people do? Right? Look at that image. What are these people supposed to do with where they are and what's going on? this
Leave. It's really the only thing you can do.
they're not allowed out.
Yeah, I know. You'd have to risk your life and your family's life to get out, which I think I would do if I were in that situation. It's hard to know what you would do, right? Because I live a privileged, easy life over here. But I have, experimented with putting myself in deliberate hardship over the past 5 years. And I think I would. I think I would try to escape even at the threat of death from that place. That's how extreme it is there. Most places I would adapt and go along to get along and wait for the temperature to change, for the water to change direction, so to speak. But in that extreme, I think I would try to sneak out.
I probably would too. I don't know. Would I join and fight? What would I do? I don't know. And then the other side of that, I mean, not everyone is escaping situations like this, but people are escaping the lands of their family, their ancestry. People are leaving their homes. And then we've got America complaining that we're not arresting enough of them. It's like, what the fuck? We've lost sight of humanity. Here.
Evacuation orders for neighborhoods of Gaza City as Israeli ground forces push deeper into the Gaza Strip's largest urban area. Israeli attacks have killed at least 29 Palestinians since dawn, 11 of them civilians seeking food, including 2 children.
29 since dawn, 11 children. Many seeking food, if I heard that right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Many Palestinians continue to resist.
Yeah.
Which, if you know about the Palestinian demographic, only makes sense. It's like, I don't know. Definitely fact check what I'm saying, around 3 or 4 times, children versus adults.
Mm-hmm. It's saddening though. There's so many children. It's something I've never understood most of my life. I've been blessed, so I haven't been there, but it seems there's a lot of children being born in areas of total unrest. Sudan, and then I remember in the 80s, the Ethiopian starvation going on, and there's all these children, and even Palestine. I mean, there's newborns. And so life is happening. But I was afraid of having a child when my son was born, right? Right after 9/11 here in the US. Me and his mother, we wanted a child, but we were really wondering, is this the right thing to do? It saddens my heart because all of these children missing out on education, missing out on a childhood, they're going to grow up to be adults. And where do you think they're going to be looking? They're going to be looking at fucking America.
Israel's forced displacement, moving from one place to another within Gaza City rather than leaving entirely. This is Samia Al-Samri, a Palestinian mother whose family's sheltering at a tent after an Israeli bomb flattened her home, killing her 9-year-old son.
My son was martyred in front of my eyes, and I could not carry him. I was worried that my children would be martyred as well, and I was injured. My son over here was also injured. I suffered. That's why I became worried about my children. Whenever there is a threat, I run away. I get scared, carry my children, and run.
After headlines, we'll speak with Al Jazeera reporter Hani Mahmoud, who has just left Gaza City.
This stuff in Gaza, man, it truly, truly breaks my heart. But
why do you think it's happening? Are you do you believe in any kind of conspiracy involved, or?
The biggest picture, I have faith it's God. This is God's plans for us. We're being shown what the world has become, and we get to choose. What are we going to do? I believe that this is happening because good men and women have stayed silent for too long. I grew up with these fears being punished, fears of being ridiculed. I was afraid to speak out. I was afraid to be different. There's a lot of people who are still dealing with those things, right? But I said it and I mean it. I follow the way of Jesus, and he's the leader for me. As far as I'm concerned, he's already king here on earth. I don't need to obey a cop or a boss or a politician or anything else till God makes me, right? But hey, I think I'm pretty sure I follow Chris Hedges already. Amazing political correspondent. He was a news correspondent for over 20 years and does some amazing political commentary, if I remember right.
Yeah, and he lived in the Middle East after becoming famous as a journalist, and came back and tried to make the case for, Middle Eastern people being just like the rest of us, not being inherently terrorists.
Good. See, this is the thing, is that we have the communication and technology available today that wasn't available in the past. We've got firsthand witness, firsthand testimonies of what's going on. I believe it's time for us to believe in solutions more than problems. And as soon as we do, it's going to happen. Here, let's see. There's a few more minutes of this.
Israeli strikes bombarded Yemen's capital, Sana'a, on Thursday, killing at least 8 people and wounding 142. Israel's repeatedly targeted residential areas.
They have targeted residential neighborhoods that is known to all people. Al-Raqqa neighborhood. They only frighten women and children. They only make us stronger and more steadfast. And we say to Netanyahu, we swear to tear out his eye.
The attack comes a day after the Houthis claimed responsibility for a drone attack on Eilat in southern Israel, injuring 22 people. Earlier this month, Israeli strikes on Sana'a and the province of Al-Jaf killed more than 40 people and was the largest single attack on journalists the world has seen in 16 years.
This is another concerning issue. The number of journalists. I mean, besides the direct report on the bombing there with Yemen, Israel striking out at all these nations, getting attacked, right? But there's reasons behind all of this. However, it's not just what they reported there in Yemen, the targeting of journalists. Palestine, Mexico, all sorts of places. We've got people trying to report on the news, risking their lives so that people outside of the conflict can hear what's going on, and people are just paying attention to the nonsense and the novelty. But I believe these things are happening for us for a good reason. And there's a good reason who just showed up in the back, Denizen. I'm going to pause the news for a few minutes. You got anything before I do?
No.
Welcome, Illumitami.
Tom.
What are you putting everything on hold for me showing up for, and what's the good reason I showed up?
Those are great questions.
Right. I think this is a good channel if it would be described as takes from a delusional boomer. Because you got a lot of good points to make for somebody that doesn't seem to understand how anything works.
Is he talking about me or you?
Oh, come on, Denizen, don't be a narc. I'm talking about Jack.
Yeah, I assume he's referring to me. I'm turning your volume up just a little bit, Tommy.
Yeah, you're probably the one that turned it down.
Tommy, I'm a square, so forgive me, please. This is not sarcasm, but am I supposed to just let you do your bit? Because you are funny and entertaining. I never know when to take it seriously and when not to. And I don't want to stand in your way. You are a true artist. I mean that sincerely.
Well, maybe that's the problem, because I'm never quite doing a bit, and I'm always taking what's real and adding enough entertainment so that these TikTok-minded plebs can sit in for it.
So, would you really think Jack's takes were delusional?
Does he think that warfare that he himself admits journalists risk their asses to report on, that it's like, let's specifically target people that are reporting on the war? Let's specifically target children. Or are things blowing up near these people that are also around?
It's both. There is targeting.
Oh, that's a good way to say it right without being right. It's just both.
Well, Tommy, that's the way the world works. It's usually yes.
You don't know how the world works, and you're better off kicking me than pretentiously old boying me, because people have always enjoyed watching me come up and adult you, and now you just caught on enough that you're mad about it.
I'm not mad. I'm just...
Well, you should be. You're a grown-ass man, and I don't know what kind of life you've lived to leave you like this.
I know.
Do you think he is that delusional about how the world works?
That was what I... Thank you.
Well,
like comparatively speaking, too, Tommy, right? Like especially. Let's not compare him to yourself or someone you look up to for insight. Let's compare him to the average American.
Thank you. That's
what I'm doing. And this entire community has to be on average below average.
So you think I'm the lowest of the below average here in the panel, and that compared to the average person,
no, I think it's
delusional.
No, and once again, you show that you don't listen or understand. I think at some point in your life, you fucking snapped. Did you interrupt me?
Oh, he snapped.
Jack, if you that channel you take joy in being disappeared shows that for 3 years all I've done is listen and pay attention. And the nerve that you would sit here and just play these deflectionary games when I bothered to share your time on your stupid show.
Holy cows, dude. I gotta get quicker.
Ain't nothing holy about them. We eat them and... Would you like to elaborate on that? Would you like to expand and demand? Would you like to produce what you demand of other accusations on you? Would you like to get specific and unpack that? Because see, Jack, that was one of my final bills as Panelburst president. One of my final bills I signed in as Panelburst president is nobody standing for this "that's you" reply shit. And you say respect your channel by not saying certain words. Well, when you come to my channel, I say don't say that's you. You have to explain why that's you, and you don't respect that either.
I do respect it. You're telling yourself false stories, my friend.
Fuck you, faggot. That's a deflection, nigger. See, now we're disrespecting each other's rules.
That's what you're doing.
I'm not. Yes. Whenever I accuse you of what we've watched you do for 3 years, it doesn't mean that's me. And it's you and Paul's fault. We've got to break the entire community of this.
How about we come back to the news? Let's divert from this just for a few minutes.
Well, please. We were trying to talk about the news and you made it about me.
You're right.
Of the Palestinian Authority has condemned Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip as a war of genocide, destruction, starvation, and displacement, unquote. Mahmoud Abbas made the remark.
Jack, if you've agreed with this community that all these news outlets are taking their script and saying it, and this is all a Operation Paperclip propaganda thing, why do you let yourself be fed and manipulated by it?
I'm not fed and manipulated by the...
You're sitting here watching and commentating on it and eating it up.
I was until you showed up.
Yes, that you were doing that. That's what I'm saying.
And
all right, let's continue.
Displacement. unquote.
Well, you haven't
Mahmoud
answered my
Abbas made
question.
Now I have.
remarks in a video address Thursday to the unquote. Mahmoud Abbas made the remarks in a video address Thursday to the United Nations General Assembly.
Today we say clearly, peace cannot be achieved if justice is not achieved, and there can be no justice if Palestine is not freed.
Abbas said he was ready to work with world leaders to implement a peace plan announced by France on Monday. He condemned Hamas's actions October 7, 2023, and said the group would not have a role to play in any future governments of an independent state of Palestine. Abbas's UN speech came as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu flew to New York, where he's set to address the General Assembly today. For the first time, Netanyahu's flight route was diverted over the Mediterranean Sea to avoid overflying a country that would be obliged to arrest him. An international criminal court warrant seeks Netanyahu.
You what?
I wonder if that's true, because it's significant if it is.
It's possible.
It's definitely possible.
And I've heard similar reports. He's canceled plans and changed plans of appearing in different nations to meet with the state leaders because the people want to prosecute him. I think it's beautiful.
I think he's been chosen for this, and then so I wonder what it's like to be him.
That's an interesting question.
If it's the case and he has any kind of awareness of it, then I imagine there's some kind of like he must have a way to either feed off of or transmutate all the negative energy he gets. Because think about it, like I barely get any negative energy in my life. You maybe get a little bit more than me from these YouTube people, right? Which is still nothing, right?
Yeah.
This dude gets global hate, like big globs of humanity. Just think about him and wish the worst on him. That's cosmically remarkable, you know.
But this is what I believe. There's a spiritual battle happening. There are entities and energies that will take over a being. Maybe it's an idea they get. And then they get consumed with this and they feed off the hate. They do this. I've seen it. I've seen the eyes change and the smile, and you can see this evil. The people get joy.
Seems to change the way their face grows too, right? So that they look evil, like comically evil.
It's crazy, man. The way that this world is created, there's a perfect order in it. And these guys are a part of the story, just like we're a part of the story. We're just playing different parts in time. It's crazy.
Be obliged to arrest him. An international criminal court warrant seeks Netanyahu's arrest for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Gaza, including using starvation as a weapon of war. This morning, protesters are gathering at Times Square for a march to the UN demanding the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Beautiful.
Microsoft says it's barred the Israeli military from using technology it's used to spy on millions of Palestinian civilian phone calls made each day in Gaza and the occupied West Bank and stored in Microsoft's vast Azure cloud computing platform. It's an unprecedented victory for No Azure for Apartheid, a group of current and former Microsoft workers demanding an end to Microsoft's work with the Israeli military. But in a statement, the group called Microsoft's actions insufficient, noting the vast majority of Microsoft's tech sales to the Israeli military continue to be untouched. Later in the broadcast, we'll speak with Hassam Nasser. He is a fired Microsoft worker who is an organizer with No Azure for Apartheid. Russia.
This is what I think it's going to take. If I heard the story right, employees involved are standing up with the organizations. And when we have the right people, we can make a difference. Hey, welcome back, Landry.
And
It's good to be here. How are you doing?
Feeling blessed, man.
Good. Good. It's good to hear. I just caught this last 2 minutes. So I'm trying to catch up on what the topic is.
I was just kind of going through the news a little bit because I plan on listening to the news anyway. And I thought, why not? Why not just keep it going and we'll see what happens. And Golden Renaissance Productions, how much is Democracy Now! Paying you to play this, Jack? Nothing.
Less than I paid you, Truth or Cop.
Holy cows.
Who said that? Golden Renaissance Productions.
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's AKA Truth or Cop. He's about
okay. Yeah, he's just joking around.
He's just a little better at investigating than Snafu Snaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Browns boy.
Well, I bring up the
yes.
I bring up the name Snafu Snaps because he's in the back with Illumitami. They showed up right after you, Landry.
Do you think it's something I said?
You might have attracted him back. So,
is there something on your teeth?
My teeth?
There is.
It's just a weird. It's a weird blur between the green screen and the back screen. It's getting confused. Hold on, watch this.
It looks like there's something on your face, but that's all right.
No, me, no. You should let Snafu up here, but I want to take the condition here.
Oh God.
As to can he treat this conversation like a conversation? I've still never seen him do it.
But he can't. I don't know why we ask these questions.
I agree with you, but
he can. I know he can, but will he? That is a good way of posing it. So let's see. Will our Warthog Defense 101, will he allow a conversation? Welcome, Snafu.
Sure, Jack, I'll allow a conversation. I was actually more interested in the videos you were playing because I pay attention, and so I actually was kind of like gonna question you on some stuff. But it's funny because I saw you and I was like, Jack, even though you're a Nazi piece of shit, and you really don't know what you're talking about, Jack. Let's just be real. That's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna say
National Socialist.
What do you take from the videos you've shown? Because I really don't think you understand what you're even like looking at and processing.
What is it with these people?
But Landry, yes, I could have a conversation with him. What does Landry want to talk about?
Well, at this point, this is Jack's space, so I want to.
No, you wanted. Okay, well, I know what I would talk about with Landry.
Talking about
we could have a conversation about it.
We can talk about the topic.
We're talking about.
I was wondering if you would be able to not interrupt people the way you do.
I was wondering if you fucking covered up for your daddy 2 days after he murdered or ran.
Oh my God, Snafu. No, he can't. But let's see if Illumitami can do better. I got faith in him. Welcome.
I know you. Tommy can do whatever
better.
he wants.
The me doing better is you backstaging me and saying I'm Snafu. And that's your brother. Paul's both your daddies. I only came back up because Landry's here.
Oh.
You're garbage, Jack. You're garbage. You're a liar. You're an enabler of liars. And I don't like you.
Dude.
And whenever Rose sends me,
you're a liar.
Are you calling me a liar?
You are a liar and an enabler of liars, Tommy. You've been enabling your own confusion. You've been encouraging people like Margot and Andy and all these other characters, just like Polyboy has been doing. Tommy, you are the same as Snafu. And Snafu and Tommy, they are the same as me. Okay, we're all the same.
It's not true, Jack. I'm actually outdoing the thing you wish you and your daddy could say you're outdoing, and you're interrupting that by not allowing this conversation to come full fruition, just like every half-assed thing in your life, you fucking loser.
How about I do?
Oh, he's avoiding because we're all obviously talking to him. This was his daddy's season 1 thing. Whenever somebody showed up on his daddy's show that overpowered his
backfire, dude.
personality,
Landry,
run.
let's talk about your dad.
Hey, backstage me.
No,
Okay, there
no, because that's not Landry, you fucking moron. This is why Jack's stupid for comparing us. I'm always telling the truth. Snafu and his daddy and Jack
I
are
want to give him
always
credit
lying.
there, Jack. I want to give him credit as far as he is not as bad as Snafu. Quite frankly, he's rough with you.
You, Landry? I came up here to talk to you, and because we could facilitate both of us having a conversation with Jack, and you're still affected by this panel verse.
Wait. Okay, I'll allow it. All right. So.
Oh, you allow it?
No. I'm saying
you allow your wife to
I'll
fuck
allow
black
it within
dudes?
myself.
Will you allow your wife to fuck more black dudes than she already does? Will you allow the cool cigarette butts to be flicked around your driveway?
What?
You see what you're doing? Let me teach you a little more Panelverse 101. Because you've got the goal to try and step to me, this entity that dwarfs Paul enslaved in the Panelverse, Jack is evading by pitting us one-on-one as if I'm going to go in on you. And I'm not going to go in on you, Landry. You have some mod tendencies of Jack, but you're not a bad guy.
Okay, fair enough. You're right. I should be more conscious of that. I agree, because you know what? Yesterday the show died when we got rid of you, so it was a bad move.
But the show doesn't matter as much as making progress, and with Jack, neither really go well. Neither show nor progress. And he's still this far into it using that's you shit as a crutch when everyone in this Panelverse is laughing at him.
I'm laughing because he's doing the thing I did yesterday. Remember, that was so funny. I love that you're doing it, Jack. The removing and re-adding and removing. I was having fun with that yesterday.
I saw that. Hey, I actually think we should. Let's get through the news. And then that part.
Tommy, we can talk later if you want.
Yes, please. Tommy and Snafu. They're great fun, but holy cows, they are challenging characters.
I've never had fun with Snafu.
I have. Admittedly, I have.
I've seen it. I wish I could see it in my own life, but he doesn't, he's got to guard up, which I get it,
He's distrusting. That's for sure. Here, let's see what we've got here.
Who is an organizer with No Azure for Apartheid. Russia's foreign ministry has ratcheted up tensions with NATO, accusing the Western military alliance of waging war on Russia. Speaking at a G20 conference on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly here in New York Thursday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said, quote, NATO and the European Union want to declare, in fact, have already declared a real war on my country and are directly participating in it, unquote. His comments come days after President Trump suggested Ukraine could claw back its territory taken by Russia.
Did
Meanwhile,
you see that?
Denmark.
He did a complete 180 on the war in Ukraine and posted to Truth Social that he thinks Russia looks like a paper tiger because they should have been able to take over the entire country by now. And since they haven't done that, it's if Europe and NATO get behind Ukraine, they could probably take all of Ukraine back from Russia. And he's gone full, fight the war.
Thank you. That makes more sense to what I just saw. Holy cows, dude. See, this antagonistic, and it's just, the world is watching, and this is our representation.
Claw back its territory taken by Russia. And meanwhile, Denmark reported to NATO that state actors are responsible for drone incursions that shut down 2 airports. That's according to Latvia's foreign minister speaking to Reuters. Germany's defense minister, Boris Pistorius, went further and blamed Russia for the drone incursions.
The suspicion is obvious. This is part of Vladimir Putin's strategy, without us being able to say anything concrete in this case. But it is part of what we experience every day. We are not at war, but we are also no longer at complete peace. We are being attacked, both in disinformation campaigns and now also by drones.
The Trump administration's negotiating a $20 billion financial bailout for Argentina amidst a worsening economic crisis, largely due to austerity measures enacted by embattled far-right Argentine president and Trump ally Javier Milei. Critics say the move contradicts Trump's so-called America First policies by offering a lifeline to Milei ahead of Argentina's midterm elections in October, which are critical to Milei retaining power.
That sounds to me like criminals enabling criminals once again. Trump and his cronies working deals, and it's the same thing the Rothschilds have been doing, and all of these wealthy families of power and elite. They buy governments and they exploit the people, and the people are being sold out for these fucking bailouts. So great, Donald Trump is going to claim to be a hero. Maybe I'm misunderstanding and maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but this is the way I see it all. Yeah, this is probably it. Argentina's probably got resources, and the banks see a way to exploit the people. They take over the infrastructure and privatize everything, start reducing the money spent on education, and they start increasing the amount spent on militarization. You know,
Well,
got to
when
make
this guy, go
go
ahead,
ahead,
sir.
please.
This guy on the left here, when he was just running, I used to every time I heard him mentioned, which was often because he's some kind of libertarian savior, I would always say, I spell Millier, which is his name. I spell Millier, CIA, because I think the whole thing is an American, takeover of the Argentinian government and to go back to exploiting their natural resources.
The
term Banana Republic comes to mind.
Yes, the tactics they have proven to work, so they continue until we unite and stop this nonsense. But I believe it's happening. This is evidence. This is evidence that, well,
Here in New York, outrage is mounting after a federal agent in plain clothes was caught on video shoving and pushing an Ecuadorian mother to the ground as her two young children watched and screamed in panic inside 26 Federal Plaza in Manhattan. Video shows the woman crying as she begs authorities not to take her husband, who is detained during the family's asylum hearing at the federal building. The woman is heard telling agents in Spanish they're going to kill him. And her husband is deported to Ecuador.
What the fuck?
The agent is also heard mocking the woman, telling her adios repeatedly, the Spanish word for goodbye, before ramming her against the wall and shoving her to the floor.
He even went in for more. Like, she was already on the ground, and at least he responded to her defensiveness of putting her hands up, and by stopping himself. But there was a moment when he was about to go in again at her.
Yeah. You can assume and kind of see the signs of cognition he started. But the thought that came to mind of this, it was a thought I had earlier regarding our friend Paul Unslaved. You know, what would I do Now that I know what I know, how would I interact should a cop choose to pull me over? Well, they're working for a paycheck. That guy, that man, for his fucking paycheck, chose to do what he chose to do. That saddens me. Hey, Machine Lies, good to see you, my friend. We're going dark and looking at the news with Jack. So, how you doing, brother? Perfect timing.
Yeah, blessings. Yeah, I guess I was behind in the episode, but there was like Snafu, Illumitami, and Landry, and then I was entering right on that. So I thought I was gonna enter on like some crazy stuff, but then you guys were just watching the news, so very calm there.
We've had a little bit of it all. We've got Snafu is still in the back. Tommy looks like he moved on to other things. Let's see, in the back, I'm being warned. You fucked Paul over. You shit on Paul, Jack, just yesterday. And in the back from Tommy, I got, fuck you, Jack. Bring me the fuck up. These people are nuts, man. So nuts. Here, let's see what other insanity there might be.
Reportedly arrived from Ecuador last year. This came as protesters got.
Hey, sorry, but this again, it's another example of someone trying to go through the process, showing up at the asylum hearing, and then family being treated like that.
That outside 26 Federal Plaza Thursday, where immigrants have described being imprisoned for days or weeks without due process in overcrowded cells, without access to medication and proper sanitation, being forced to sleep on the concrete floor and left hungry without outside contact. This is New York Assembly member Jessica Gonzalez Rojas.
We are done with this administration and their cruelty. We will demand that ICE is out of New York, and we need to fight to make sure that we are passing laws here in New York that will protect our immigrant neighbors. Because we are all the child of immigrants.
Amazon has reached a $2.5 billion settlement with the Federal Trade Commission over allegations the company tricked users into paying for Prime membership. Amazon's set to give $1 billion to the FTC and another $1.5 billion back to customers impacted by the company's practices. Amazon still faces a legal case with the FTC over allegations the company is illegally stifling competition in the e-commerce market. And
these billion-dollar fines, it's truly just become a cost of doing business for these corporations. $1 billion bucks.
Right, it's legal for a fee.
Yeah, thank you. It is.
And that's not even the worst of Amazon's practices.
No.
Their labor practices are truly the worst, but their violations of antitrust law, that's where, that's the Amazon story as far as I'm concerned, is one big skate around antitrust.
Yes, it is. It's an example of good and bad, because the good from Amazon, dude, there's no denying they got good service. They got lots of options. The prices aren't bad. This fucking membership. Yeah, they've been exploiting the customers and the producers and the workers, and Jeff Bezos gets to take fucking joyrides to the stratosphere playing like he's God.
Talcots.
What's that?
Can I get the...
Oh, sorry, Talcott. So Landry sent me the wrong link. So he sent me to your channel.
Possibly. You're welcome to stay. He was here, so that's a reasonable
all right, I'll hang out with you guys.
mistake. Yeah, we were just going through the news. Any other feedback? Machine Lies, Denizen?
I was going to say, let me piss off the Merkins by saying, I think that we should seize Jeff Bezos's assets and redistribute his wealth among all the citizens of America, including under 18. Every individual should get the money, and so children should have like a federal savings account opened up in their name that we put Jeff's money in.
Dude, that's a ballsy claim. You're talking direct redistribution of wealth, including the target.
And that's in lieu of
Holy
prison
cows.
time.
I haven't gone
That'll
that
be
far.
part of his rehabilitation. Rather than putting him in jail, we're going to teach him how to be a human being again.
Dude, that's in line with one of my ideas for reform. We take these brilliant mathematicians, statisticians, you take those brilliant minds, the people who imagined and created the mortgage derivatives and all these ways of gambling with everyone's debts, take them and bring them into solving the problems. And I mean, these hedge fund managers, these stock, if what I've seen, the propaganda from the 80s and all of this, these hedge fund managers making extreme wealth just by directing other people to share their wealth, they've been overpaid. Let me get to the point. The great way of the great way of bringing justice towards all these banking managers responsible for the stock market crashes and these bailouts. Let's get them on the streets. Let them work with the nonprofit leaders, out there on the streets. Get the Sackler family out there in the street, face to face with some of the addicts, some of the families that have been destroyed by their products and their marketing tactics. These fines, they're not fine for me and you anymore, man. Fines for freedom. That's what America's become. You're right.
President Trump signed an executive order Thursday that would allow TikTok to keep operating in the U.S. The order enables a group of investors to buy the American operations of the app from the Chinese company ByteDance. China still has to approve the deal. The company Oracle will reportedly take over security operations and cloud computing for TikTok's U.S. firm. Oracle's co-founder and chair, Larry Ellison, is a decades-long history with the Republican Party and has frequented Trump's Mar-a-Lago for dinners and has met Trump in the Oval Office. He's also an ally of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
That's why he's the richest man in the world, especially after he had his little fallout with his buddy Elon.
That's exactly what it is. It's truly nuts. Here, I think Moose is here, but not here. I'm going to just add to it. These names, and I was kind of hoping Snafu might actually still be in the back when I heard the name Oracle, because he pays attention to these things. And this is state sponsored, right? Donald Trump and the administration, they're brokering the deal so corporate billionaires can take over another tech platform. Why? It benefits the U.S. It benefits the CIA. That's for sure. That's what these people are all about, is control and ownership. It's sickening to me. And it's not everyone, I realize it, but people are how they are.
Trump in the Oval Office. He's also an ally of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, donating money to Israel's military through the nonprofit Friends of the Israel Defense Forces. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates-backed investment firm MGX is also reportedly set to win a major stake in TikTok's U.S. business. Back in May, MGX made a $2 billion investment in the Trump family's cryptocurrency business, World Liberty Financial. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
Yeah. I look at the news different than I used to. I used to get upset by the politicians. I'd even yell at the television screen. I don't do that anymore, but I see the faces of the people. Every time there's a report of natural disasters, I'm thinking about the families affected. When I see these reports of war and the immigration and the men and women who are being dragged out of their jobs, out of their homes, out of their lives, put into cages. Why? Because some politician somewhere said, hey, during your paycheck, you need to obey, and you got to obey what we say. And people believe that shit. We don't have to. We don't have to obey when we choose to lead. And only those who accept responsibility for themselves are fit to lead. I'm going to tie it to the thumbnail. Because the question I asked today, the Tao question, do you trust yourself to be honest, or do you tend to make excuses? Donald Trump is a man of excuses. So is Netanyahu. So are all of the supporters of them. And we don't have to be amongst that. We've got another guest here. Machine Lies, you've been here, Denizen. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to give a little rundown of this history of the Middle Eastern conflict, and I could do so in pretty quickly. I mean, right? If you guys will engage me, I mean, in less than 3 minutes, really.
Please.
Yeah. Well, this guy who's the prime minister right now, right? He is. His father was the secretary of Zeb Jabotinsky, right, who was actually elected as the Russian delegate to the 6th Zionist Congress, that was set up by Theodore Herzl, right? He started the World Zionist Congress in 1896, I believe. The year after he wrote the book, The Jewish State. This was the book that started the World Zionist movement. In 1917, they had the Balfour Declaration. Then they had, World War II. Right, in 1947, the UN declared, Israel to be a country, right? And then in 1948, they had the Nakba, which was, when they went into the Palestinian villages and murdered a lot of people, right? And this is talked about by Israeli historians, right? Then in the year 1957, I believe, they had the Suez Crisis, where Egypt and Israel went to war. This was a war that lasted, I believe, until 1970, right? Until Egypt was defeated. In 1979, they had the Camp David Accords, right? Where they had, President Jimmy Carter. They had, Anwar Sadat, right? Who was the successor of Gamal Abdel Nasser, right, who started the movement for Pan-Arabism, right? So, yeah, 1979 they had the Camp David Accords, right? This is when they came together. I believe it was Menachem Begum, Anwar Sadat of Egypt, right? President Jimmy Carter, right? Also Brzezinski was there. Right, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who started the Trilateral Commission. Right, so there's a lot of important dates there. Right, and subsequently, they invaded Lebanon. Right, because I guess Israel was also at war with Syria and Lebanon. Right, so this conflict happened between, I guess mainly between Israel, Egypt, Syria, and Lebanon, right? So Israel subsequently, they went to war with Egypt, then Syria, then Lebanon. So yeah, that's a little bit of the history. Sorry if I took too long.
No, it's beautiful, brother. Thank you. Your grasp on history and philosophy here. For those who haven't come across The Machine Lies yet, please check it out.
What was the name of that book that you mentioned at the beginning of your commentary?
Please.
I don't think it was necessarily a book, but I did mention Zeb Jabotinsky, who was the forerunner of the hard right movement, right? I think it was called Iron Wall, right, or something like that. But Zeb Jabotinsky, he was named the Wolf, right, and he started the far right movement. Actually, Benjamin Netanyahu's dad was a secretary, right, and he was. Oh yeah. I mentioned The Jewish State by Theodor Herzl. Yeah, sorry, that was the book, 1895. Theodor Herzl, Der Judenstaat, written in Switzerland, right, where he started the World Zionist Congress, right.
That was the book.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, beautiful, man. There's been long-range plans made. They've been brilliantly executed. I mean, the truth has been shared with us publicly. These adages from some of the influential people, they explain exactly what's going on, right? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, you want to affect some change, you want to create some profits, you got to create some change. Nothing changes things like a good crisis. And here's a good man who knows crisis.
And you know what? How are you ever going to change things, Jack?
Keep
You
watching.
laugh like
dude.
Toilet Bowl Earth. You laugh like Toilet Bowl Earth when they asked him if he was a nigger lover.
Keep watching.
I have been, Jack. We know you're a joke. I'm just pointing out that you're doing the time-old strategy of I'm going to watch the news so I can say we're supposed to talk about that when things don't go my way. That wasn't any more true for Rachel Wilson than it is for anybody else, and you can't explain yourself. Quit wasting my fucking time.
Holy cow. Says the man who's wasting both of our times with your constant
That's you. Because, see, when I say that to you, I'll explain it.
I was thinking Rachel Wilson wasted her own time. I was here when that happened.
You were here that day. That was an interesting day, too.
Yeah, definitely an event. I think with the Speakeasy fellow, right? He had come in and then he had brought these people in. So
right.
It was a conflict from the beginning that they had tried to start.
Yeah. He came in looking to start shit under the pretense of trying to be understanding. It's the most disingenuous, annoying thing on the internet.
Yeah, and she's trying to interpret a book that literally tells her that she's not allowed to interpret it. In church, the women are supposed to be quiet, right? So authority to speak to an elder man about her interpretation of the book in question.
I'm glad you said it like that, because standing on the words and that position, I'm politely, respectfully, I'd like to speak to that woman's husband, Andrew Wilson.
No, you don't.
I do. I do want to talk to him politely. I don't want to debate or argue the man, but I would like to.
That's all he does. He doesn't do conversations. So
far, he hasn't met a man like me, though. That's what I'm confident of.
Touche.
And Tommy, I freaking love you, my friend, but seriously, you're going to learn the same lessons that I learned. You're going to learn how to love Jack Talcott. Just the way he is. Just the way he is, Tommy. You're gonna.
No, you're gonna learn that I'm just the next person that you try and say you love that's gonna throw your ass to the curb because of your disrespect, your lies, your deflections, and Melanie and Rose owes you and Melanie money.
All right. Well, I've got the tracking number, and I hope you receive your package soon, Tommy, because my visit here, my involvement was a little bit of a part of getting you your stuff back. So hopefully the shipping company does its job properly and everything arrives to you intact and just the way it's supposed to be. Because Tommy, Maybe I went a little far. You will learn to love me, Tom. I swear you will, because I love you sincerely. You're just like me. You're bitter and angry. But I faced my bitterness and anger similar to you. I ended up alone. That's why I understand Tommy pretty well, I think. What's that?
Can we find a summary of? I mean, unless you want to listen to the whole thing, of Netanyahu's speech to the UN.
Oh yeah. Let me see what I can pull up.
I'm willing to listen to the whole thing, but I know you've already been on for quite a while, so it's not too late out there.
Oh, 42 minutes, an hour.
Yeah. Major part of the history that I didn't include was, what happened after 81. After the, the Palestinian, Liberation Organization. They were a guerrilla organization. They marched over into Lebanon, right, and then Israel went to war with Lebanon, right, and that's when the Muslim Brotherhood started as well. So the beginning of the Muslim Brotherhood and which started Hamas, right? Yeah. Also Iran changing to an Islamic Republic, right? Yeah. Those are two big changes that happened in the 70s and 80s, right? That changed the game, right? So Hamas and Hezbollah, respectively.
And it was Roosevelt's nephew who, on behalf of the CIA, led the campaign to exile Mossadegh.
Yeah.
Operation Ajax, where they went and put pamphlets around "Down with Allah" and "Up with Socialism," and admittedly, supposedly, even went as far as to shoot innocent people, machine gun crowds, under the guise of being, revolutionaries.
Yeah, it's great propaganda because Khomeini was a socialist that was educated in France, right? So, right.
Yeah. And all Mossadegh wanted to do was nationalize Iran's oil.
Here, I found a short little breakdown from CNN. And for the feedback on the background, I get it. I'm visiting. I'm a guest. This is the guest room of where I am. So it's all temporary for now. And here, I dropped the link in the chat for this thing. I don't know anything about it. Just looked up. It's a brief clip. CNN breaks down the speech. So let's see what they say.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech at the UN General Assembly wasn't just heard in New York. Along the Gaza border, Netanyahu had the Israeli military set up speakers so that audio of his speech could be broadcast into the territory. He says it was to try to speak to the hostages, and he addressed them in Hebrew and in English during his UN speech, though it's unclear if they even would have heard. Generally, every year at the UN, we see Netanyahu do something performative to try to make a headline or grab the world's attention, and it looks like these speakers were what he did this year. Netanyahu assailed a number of Western countries throughout the course of this week who have recognized a state of Palestine. He said they have caved and buckled under what he said was biased media coverage, radical Islamist minorities, and anti-Semitism.
There's a familiar saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, for many countries here, when the going got tough, you caved.
He accused these countries of outright rewarding Hamas with the recognition, even though many of them have made clear that Hamas must disarm and can have no part in future Palestinian governance. And a final point here. In some of his strongest language that we've seen, specifically at the United Nations, Netanyahu outright rejected the idea of a two-state solution.
This is sheer madness. It's insane, and we won't do it.
With a Palestinian state back on the agenda, this is some of the strongest language we have seen from Netanyahu against a two-state solution. President Donald Trump spoke of the possibility of an imminent end to the war and a ceasefire. And yet, Netanyahu gave no indication throughout his speech that he had any intention to call off Israel's offensive in Gaza.
Your Hamas leaders right here in the
not all the details, but I can imagine him calling out these other nation states that are, some of the states are willing to stand up and say, hey, this is not right. And I saw some reporting earlier from my I don't know, my friend. Yeah, he doesn't know me yet, but he is my friend. Loki, he did some reporting earlier.
Hey, you said to talk a brother up, Jack, so I did.
Yes, Jack, how you doing? Much love and respect to you. You came and took the brother up. I appreciate you spreading the word. Live without fear. Peace and love. Respect, brother.
Thank you, man.
He's also a journalist, and I watched some of his reporting earlier on what's going on. There's please go ahead.
Oh no, I just recommend him exposing Piers Morgan, because everybody's watching Piers Morgan. Well, low-key went on Piers Morgan and exposed him, right, for being paid by the Zionist Rupert Murdoch, right, who pays for illegal settlements, in the Golan Heights, right, where it's totally illegal to, I'm not sure if it's illegal anymore, but it used to be Syrian land, right? But yeah.
Dude, thank you. I hadn't known that. See, brother? Here. Whoops. What did I do?
Yeah, because everybody thinks that guy's such a big shot. Wilson, for going on Piers Morgan. When the guy's a total clown. He left England because he got exposed, for hacking into a 13-year-old dead girl's cell phone. Right.
Oh, Piers Morgan, yeah.
Here, see, I didn't even know. I'm a fan of his, but I don't follow all of his stuff. But here's a little clip. That's Low-Key, the guy who gave a shout out. And Piers Morgan has been a propagandist for the Zionist genocide in Gaza.
He's changed nothing. He's changed nothing. He's trying to save his own reputation historically. And because he understood that it's irrefutable what Israel is doing. But he's been a key weapon of Israel throughout this war. Let's be clear. When he asks you if you condemn Hamas, he's trying to do one of two things. Either criminalize you or enlist you into Israeli military propaganda. Those are his two objectives. And so what he's done throughout this period of time, it can't be separated from Murdoch's history. When Mordecai Vanunu was kidnapped by Mossad, it was while he was under the care of Murdoch's newspaper, The Times. Yeah. Murdoch literally had an Israeli intelligence group in this country in the 90s, which hacked his opponent's stuff. Murdoch is described by Benjamin Netanyahu in his book, Bibi, My Story, as one of his closest friends, as Israel has never had a better friend than Rupert Murdoch. So we're supposed to take this person, who is attempting to either criminalize supporters of Palestine or enlist them into Israeli military propaganda as objective and neutral just because he says he is. He wants some sort of medal or award for recognizing Palestinian humanity at this point. The propagandists who were involved in the Nazi war and propagandized for them were held responsible and hanged at Nuremberg. Yeah? He has been a propagandist for the Zionist genocide in Gaza. I know it because I've lived what he's attempted to do. Both you and me were objects of that attempt. Yeah. And I think, the way that he dealt with you was disgusting, frankly. He's sitting in front of a person that's lost over 20 precious members of his family, and you speak to him in such a ridiculous way and make it all about yourself. It's not him. He tries to make the conversation about him. But I tell you, and something that he hasn't been made aware of yet by me, and should be, though I think he probably is aware. He only split away from Murdoch in 2025, by the way, in January 2025. A key sponsor of his program today is ExpressVPN, and this brings in a whole other topic. But ExpressVPN is owned by Cape Technologies. Cape Technologies is an Israeli company headed by Teddy Sagi. Who's Teddy Sagi? Someone that gave the Israeli military $3 million throughout the war in Gaza, throughout the genocide in Gaza. The same person giving money to Piers Morgan today.
Yeah, you're muted, Brother Jack. Yep.
Thank you. Wow. It's the way everything is connected. All of these players, these corporations, these states, it's so intertwined and so complicated, and yet to me the solution is so simple. We are that. And hey, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Loki as an artist. Check out his music. I got a link in the description, and as a journalist, and I'll try to link his other channel in there. Thank you, Machine Lives, for turning me on to that. Piers Morgan. See, there's connections. I'm connected to all these people in small, different ways. And if I can get these people on my side, well, we're going to get Jack and Donald Trump conversation. And then I'm sure once he hears what I've got to say, he'll want to help me get in front of Congress. That's what I believe, at least. Hey, we've got a great diversion. Let me take a bit. Tommy, welcome back.
You got a charger for it? Just the battery there, you think? It's got the button and the motor and stuff. I don't think the battery will take a charge. And then I've got like 3 Lime scooter packs.
I just saw
deal for a minute.
What's that?
Never mind.
Hey, I just saw the link in the back. So here's another recap of the speech.
Oh, is that what I put?
Yeah. This is them
That's
walking
not what
out.
I meant to put. Yeah, we already saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ignore that. I was looking for a more inclusive and comprehensive coverage of what he said.
Yeah. No, that's the delegates walking out is what that is. But here, Tommy, are you there yet?
Oh, I've been here, Jack. Have you disrespected me, brought me on and off a couple times without any addressing, and then like let me sit in the back, choosing whether or not you want to let anybody know I'm there or not? Because when you say I'm gonna love you and come back around, nobody's gonna do that. Like Machine Lies, that dude abandons you and comes back on the drop of a hat because you're all fake.
I've been talking to
now
Jack
once again, Jack. Once again, Jack. Hey, nigger, if you want to talk to me about your issues, you can come on my show, but I'm not here to address you on Jack's stupid show. You Sam fucking nigger.
I don't give a fuck what you think on your show.
Right. So why don't you let me handle Jack and you can suck his dick, baby. You fucking piece of shit, fake ass lie.
Here, please. Now the distraction is gone.
Oh, you put the Arab in the back. Nobody's going to talk to you from Congress. You put the Arab in the back.
What would you like to
He likes
discuss?
it in the back, Jack. He likes it in the back fast and hard. Jack, you have not answered any of my questions today. You've deflected. You've thrown the news in between us. You've said I'm going to love you when I'd kick you in the teeth. I'd kick you in the teeth just to set you on fire and not put it out. And the idea that I reposted what you did to Rachel Wilson and you and this enabling whatever the fuck he is have the nerve to still describe it like she was in the wrong. Like her and Easy came to start trouble. No, they were very cordial and
informative. It's posted on my channel, Denizen. You don't be a jack sucker. Like, you're already an
Got nothing to
atheist
do with
bound for
Jack.
hell. You'll have all of eternity to suck Jack off in hell.
It's all
But
about Rachel's
Jack,
behavior. Got nothing
Rachel
to do with
was
Jack.
perfectly polite. Rachel did not do anything but put herself through what we've
She
all
came
wasted
up
our time
here.
with.
She came up here to be insulting and condescending under the guise of being understanding.
Are
It's
you sure
disingenuous.
about
It's
that?
mentally lazy. Yeah, I put money on it.
Lean into it, Jack. Guys, it's on my channel. Jack looks ridiculous. I don't get along with
It's all
Speakeasy, and I
Speakeasy
agree
does.
with all. Are you just talking over me?
Speakeasy's entire existence on YouTube is doing exactly that. Looking for
No,
fights
that's
on the
your buddy.
internet
That's
with people
your
that
buddy
he doesn't
posting.
respect because of their viewpoints. And the only reason he
Uh,
doesn't respect their viewpoints is because they're the opposite of his viewpoints. And he's a
talk for him,
very
because you're wrong.
insecure,
Don't talk for
myopic
him, and don't
little
talk
man.
over me.
And that's why he goes out on YouTube looking to put down other people for their views. And
Yeah.
Rachel
Denizen.
Wilson and the whole Wilson, gang are no different. That's what
Are
his
you
show
done?
is about. That's how he debates people, just by insulting them and putting them down and calling them names. And he's also a drunk, an abusive drunk, and I don't believe that his doctor tells him to smoke either. So it doesn't seem very Christian-like to me.
I don't disagree. Much of what you said. I put Tommy in the back so you could get the words out. But here, whoops, where'd it go? So for those who are interested, this is a direct link to what Tommy's talking about, where he captured the exchange between me and Speakeasy and Rachel Wilson. So there's no dispute of what happened. It's just, well, I guess there is a dispute of what happened. Sorry for that, Machine Lies, but
No, no, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, I think I saw some of what he covered in that exchange, and I have to say he was totally dishonest. Right, he was totally dishonest in his coverage. Right, it was more, true to the fact of what I said. Right, that this one, that this person was brought in under her own tradition. She's not allowed to speak, on behalf of the principles that she's alluding to. Right, and so his so-called coverage of that fact was to promote the total pogo actors online. Right. So, we have to think, what is Illuminati's true intention here? Right. Is it to promote these people that go on Piers Morgan? And of course, he tried to interrupt when we were talking about the Zionist agenda. So, it's pretty clear to me, what's actually going on here. There's gatekeepers, there's people trying to distract from a real conversation. And, and they're improv actors, probably paid to do it. Right? Honestly.
I think they're just product of society.
You muted yourself, Jack. Again.
Thank you. I think these are just products of society. Agents of chaos, right? That's what Tommy and Snafu and many others have grown into. They don't realize that's what they're doing, but the act of running around interrupting constantly.
Yeah, I even see Snafu inadvertently expose somebody, right? He talks about Larry Ellison. He talks about the greater crimes that are out there, right? What does Illumitami even expose, other than himself, on the panels? Right?
Sure. That's what these panels are. I've seen a bunch of grown children acting pretty juvenile and pretending to be tough. And I guess that's what egos do. But see, an ego, that's the insecure part of us. That's what I'm talking about. The insecure part of us, that's all impatient and needy and wants to fight. It's like a child. I mean, it's a natural part of us, but we're here to grow out of that. There's a big difference between Snafu and Tommy, and you pointed it out. Snafu is right about some of the things he's looking at in the bigger picture. For whatever reason, I've been in his sights for a long time. Well, it's helped me learn to trust in God, for sure. Because there's a perfect order to nature. The way we were raised may not be natural. The way we live may not be natural. But we can learn how to become comfortable and natural with who we are. And it comes through commitment to honesty, truly. When we commit to ourselves to being honest, that's when we become authentic. And here, I may have mentioned it, maybe I didn't. My private texts with Snafu. He loves to offer me his opinions, and it's quite hilarious sometimes. But what I suggested to him is true for many others. See, it's people who feel insecure, they start attacking. They find excuses to attack others. But what I found healing for myself was the practice of apologizing. It's tough to say I'm sorry. It's tough to say I was wrong. But truly, it's the only way to have a clear conscience. And once you start apologizing for your errors more often, and you truly mean it, you truly work to improve yourself, you're going to get sick of apologizing, just like I have. I've had to apologize for my anger and my temper, my tone and my language many times. And I don't like doing that. So the other part I noticed is I have to apologize a lot less when I stop judging others.
They beg for judgment so hard. Right? It's like the kid throwing a tantrum in the middle of a store, and then he takes the toy that his mother hasn't even paid for yet and smashes it on the ground. And then he starts yelling horrible things at his mother. And you're like, how do I take this kid's side? Where do I find the compassion and love for this kid,
It's a great example. And
parenting's got to be hard, man.
It can be. And yet, it'll transform you. And being kind, being loving while someone's having a moment, it makes an impact. It really transforms people.
Well, shit, it transforms you, if nothing else.
That's the key. Hey, I feel my energy fading. It's been a while. I want to thank both of you and all who showed up. But any final words from you guys?
No, just thanks. This was fun, and I appreciate your insight. Like, we should do this kind of panel more often, especially with my friend TML here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Denizen.
Same.
Hey, I agree with you. Much love to you, Denizen. Appreciate you swinging through for sure. Machine Lies, how about you, brother?
Yeah, I just want to cap off that last little thing that we were on. Obviously, Low-Key is Palestinian, right? So a little bit of his background in journalism and activism. But other than that, it's important to note that Rupert Murdoch, as he exposed, he owns a lot of media in Australia, right? Almost all of the media in Britain, right? Like Sky News and a bunch of other stuff. He owns the New York Post. He owns the Wall Street Journal. He owns Fox News. He owns 20th Century Fox and all of the subsequent media, right? So there's 6 major media companies, and Murdoch is one of the main owners. Right now, all 6 of those companies have ties to Israel, right? So you guys could look into that. So that's some of the things I'd like to bring forward about what we watch. But yeah, blessings, brother Jack, and thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Hey, much love to you, sincerely. And to all who joined in, those especially who are here with me, God bless you. Sincerely, thank you. And if you tune in later, you catch these words at a different time. Bless you, and thank you to you too. I do think maybe I will share some more of the news. I mean, it does get me fired up. I'm passionate about what I see. I'm really passionate about what I believe. And what I believe in most is love. It truly is. It's the power from God that is to be known, shared, discovered, grown. Love is waiting for you, just like love was waiting for me. Once I found it, I realized it was always there. It was always there with me. The love of God, the love of life. It's available for you too. It's just, do you have the eyes? Do you have the willingness to see? Has God graced you with the eyes that can see the beautiful, that can see the potential? Can you see the potential for justice? Can you see the potential for change? Can you see the potential for better? Can you see the potential for overcoming, especially in the darkness, especially in times of darkness where the future looks painful, where it might be not comfortable now? Can you see it? You can. I'm telling you, you can. And if you allow yourself, you can. You can see the beauty. You can see the potential. You can see the way, the solution. It's all right there. It's all right here. My thoughts today earlier on the story of Jesus. It is the path for me. I resisted it. I fought it. And then I started trying it out. And it proved to be pretty helpful. You know, being able to sleep at night. Being able to feel good about, yeah, that's not a problem anymore. I don't worry about that. It's not a big deal, right? If you can allow yourself to have that flexibility and that just allow yourself to flow, man, God is there for you. Life is there for you. The spirit and the essence, the knowing that Jesus, the Christ, that spirit is eternally available within the mind, consciousness of every one of us. Should we find it? Should we believe in it? Should we trust it? Then it's there. Just like everything. Praise God. Sincerely. My mind's going back to that. I'm going to go check out. Actually, I'm going to reflect and pause. I'm going to spend more time thinking about God. Maybe check out more about what we saw. The actual speeches and what's been said. Who knows what the day will bring. Till next time, thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.